if I meditate, I'm supposed to be calm. If I meditate, I'm supposed to be happier, and I'm supposed to be less angry, and this and that. The more you create that expectation, the more you're pulled into the mind and out of the present moment. In those moments when you are taking in space, bringing, I would say, inviting in space around your thoughts, around emotions, you're sitting still in silence, inviting in space. Just notice. Notice each and everything around you. Notice without intent. Notice without expectation. Notice without the hope to receive. Notice without the hope to receive an answer. You get the theme here, right? Just be. Just be. And that's when you will recognize how natural, how effortless, how easy it is to bring in space. What's up, everyone? My name is Morcie, and if you're new to this channel, I help others step out of the mind and into the present moment. And as always, I'm grateful to be here with you. I'm grateful to be out here in nature with you. I'm grateful to be by this beautiful creek. The sound, so therapeutic, so meditative. Really helps me naturally step into this meditative state. I'm loving it. This is how I want to share with you all. Surrounded by beauty. Feeling full. Today's topic is on inviting space around thoughts and emotions. Inviting space around thoughts and emotions. If you're new to this channel and you're watching my video and you notice that there are gaps of silence in the video, I might be walking, I may have stopped talking, you may see me and I may be looking another way, just not talking. Take in that gap of silence. Take it in. Whatever message that was received, sit with it. Be in stillness with it. Make implementing and inviting space a part of the right now practice, rather than just hearing about it, hearing me talk about it. Do it with me. Look at my view right now. Loving it. My feet. Looking for a trail. Inviting space around thoughts and emotions. I had a client ask me that the other day. And I gave my client this example. Imagine you're in a room, a small room, and there's a king-size bed in that room. Not that much space, just enough space to hop on the king-size bed and hop off. Imagine that bed is a thought. There's not much space around that thought. The bed looks huge. It starts to feel annoying. You start to feel annoyed by it. You start to feel attached to it. You start identifying with it. It's just so much in your reality. There's no space around this bed. There's no space around this thought. Now let's put this king-size bed in a much larger room, a huge room, a room that's so big that this king-size bed looks like an ant. Sit there with that. consider how insignificant that bed is now, because there's so much space around it. It's there. It's there as it is. It doesn't affect your identity. It doesn't affect your state of being. It's there. You're an observation because there's enough space around it. There was enough awareness around it. To bring space around thoughts means to bring awareness. The more aware you are, the more you sit at a vantage point that allows you and gives you the opportunity to consider another perspective. Say something happens, right? How do you, here's something I want to share. How do you know when you have not brought space around a thought or emotion? How can you tell? Imagine an event just happened, some sort of event, and you had this automatic response to it. And this response came from the way you've always acted in the past, the way you've always responded in the past. And now immediately, based on that emotion, you respond as you always have, right? So what I'm getting at is that in that moment, you feel as though, in that moment, you may feel as though you didn't have much of an option other than to respond in the way you always have. There was not enough space around that moment, around that thought, that emotion, around that event. Not enough in a space of neutrality, of observation. Just a space of reactivity, unconscious, because it's deemed as normal or something you've always done. That's when you're unconscious, that's when you're unaware, that's when there's not enough space. You notice the theme here with the words aware and unaware, conscious and unconscious, right? Inviting in space allows you to be more aware of the happenings of the moment. And the more you do it, you will understand the simplicity of life when space is invited in more. When you invite in space, you invite in presence. I want you to see my view right now. There's a nice tree there. Boop. I'm on a picnic bench. Like down below if you know what it means to bring in space. Like down below if you actively bring in space within your daily life. Within those moments where you feel overly frustrated, maybe even overly excited. We often overlook these ideas of excitement and happiness and saying, oh, you can't be overly excited or overly happy. I mean, to each their own. But there's always moments where the mind will take us so far away from reality that, yeah, it causes this idea of overexcitement and over-expectation. And we should bring in space, bring in awareness, so we don't get carried away by our ideas of fantasy within the mind. Let's continue on our walk. Also, let me check in my little handy dandy notebook. What else do I have to share? I'll write down some notes, you know? Yeah. In those moments of taking in space, consider this in those moments. Many times we'll step into this meditative state, or let's say the mind. And when I say the mind, I mean the individual. The individual, right? This mind. It will create an expectation of what we should receive from bringing in space, of what we should receive from meditating, right? Oh, if I meditate, I'm supposed to be calm. If I meditate, I'm supposed to be happier, and I'm supposed to be less angry, and this and that. The more you create that expectation, the more you're pulled into the mind and out of the present moment. In those moments when you are taking in space, bringing, I would say, inviting in space around your thoughts, around emotions, you're sitting still in silence, inviting in space. Just notice. Notice each and everything around you. Notice without intent. Notice without expectation. Notice without the hope to receive. Notice without the hope to receive an answer. You get the theme here, right? Just be. Just be. And that's when you will recognize how natural, how effortless, how easy it is to bring in space. You may recognize yourself as awareness. I feel like there's so much space out here. Of course, there's a good amount of trees, but wow. Space. Be sure to check out my free guided meditation on observing thoughts and emotions fade away. In that meditation, that's where you have the space to have this awareness, expanded awareness around what it means to bring in space around thoughts and emotions. How to be the observer, the witness, the noticer. Knowing that you are the observer, the witness, and noticer, above all else. If you made it to the end of this video, I give you a huge thank you for being present with me, being present with nature, listening to this message. I feel incredibly grateful for you. Life is good. Take in little bits of space. 1 second. Life is good. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me to get a better understanding of what it means to invite space around thoughts and emotions, to give yourself the opportunity to be more conscious, to have choices, and not be tethered to old, outdated reactions, click the link in bio. Click the link in bio. Click the link in the description below. Spots are limited, and one of those seats can be yours. I'm sending love. I'm sending gratitude. As always, live in a state of gratitude.